All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for
Vigilantes, episode 9.
Oh,
Run.
Mom is here.
Mom's here.
You cannot run.
You
She
cannot
has
run.
bubble
You
flex.
you cannot hide. But you better be able to find a fake girlfriend
Yes.
because she demands to see her.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
So, Makoto or Pup Step?
I like to think that we're going to have a point where, like, Koichi is like flipping through his phone, like, okay, who can I possibly call? Scrolls right past Pop Step, and then Makoto.
I think what's kind of sad here is that because of the situation when he tried to bring friends over, literally Makoto is the only other girl that actually would be cool with this, and Pop Step actually might not be cool with this. Because it's just too close, you know? It's too close to what she actually wants.
Oh, no, yeah, no.
And it's the, I don't want to crack the egg, you know?
It very much shouldn't be Pop Step for several reasons.
Several reasons.
One of which is definitely the, hey, she actually is crushing on the guy. That'd just be cruel.
Right.
Like, that...
You don't want to be the crueler, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
That's not your style, man.
No.
Friendly neighborhood crawler, exactly.
That's right.
And Makoto, she put together. Mm-hmm. She's put together.
Oh, yeah. No, she is up to the task. She would be able to get that job done just fine.
Yeah, and also she would be so good at it that Mom would probably never visit again. Like,
sure, yeah. Like, and she would even be able to put spin on the, oh yeah, no, this crummy apartment. No, he's actually doing this as a long-term money play because the rent here is real cheap for Tokyo, you know, and so he's actually,
yeah, he's being very forward-thinking,
exactly,
long-term.
Yep. Frugal and efficient.
Willing to make sacrifices.
That's right.
In the here and now to
Yes.
benefit his future.
Yep.
And she'll be able to articulate it with emphasis and...
Now, we just need to make sure that Knuckle Duster doesn't show up.
Oh,
because if
my
there's
God.
one way to have
the only thing we can count on
go
is him
so badly
showing up.
Unless
watch him start flirting with
I don't know. I think there was a dad. No, dad called to say mom's coming. Yeah,
exactly.
So no. But that if there wasn't a dad in the picture, that would be hilarious.
That would be hilarious.
But
I do also love the idea, thinking back, that dad gave him like the early warning call, but it was like, you have 15 minutes. Like,
yeah, like, dad, what the fuck? Like I would hope it's something where it's like why did you take so long? I left you 5 messages. Oh shit, you're right. I really do need to actually listen to those.
Yeah. You apparently were busy during the day. I assume you're just working hard. He thinks back. I was dealing with this this villain, this stuff, this thing.
Yep.
Oh, okay. But yes, I'm very excited for the romantic comedy stuff in my MHA world story.
Full slice of life. Let's have it. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. So y'all, without further ado, let's get into this. Yeah.
Fantastic. Yes. Incredible.
She understood the assignment. Oh,
yeah.
Fly swatter is her quirk? Oh my God! She doesn't need the sandal! She just telekinetically... What is that quirk? That is genius! The levels of comedy genius! Mom descends.
Uh-oh.
Oh my gosh. Never knew her real name.
Yeah. Okay. Makoto now has confirmation because that's clearly Pop Step.
Yeah. Yes! Yes!
All right, Pop Step has to say
his hair. His hair.
His hair. What?
Yes.
Incredible.
Right, this guy trains me in martial arts.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh my God.
Here's my business card.
Here's my business card. So
both hands.
respectful. So respectful.
The business card holder is so tiny in his hands.
Wait.
Civil assistant.
That's the best way to describe it too. Wow. And now he gets to gas them up because they're like kind and yes.
No, that's the LLC that he set up for their business.
Right. Yes. Brilliant.
Helps us cut costs.
Okay.
But I love that she was checking specifically the lower half of his face.
Whoa, 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 whoa. And she's touching him. She's touching him. No. Doesn't answer.
Huh.
Oh, that's so precious. Yeah. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Thanks, Mom.
No, but it is enough to make a mom worry, you know.
Oh. But
Relatable. Relatable. I think she actually just slapped him on that one. You look pretty. What? I said you look shitty. Good night, Denise. Wow. What? What? Come on, Koichi. Come on. Just.
Koichi's getting slapped a lot today.
I'm gonna slap him.
It wasn't even a backhanded compliment.
Wait, we get a montage of them going, I want to see this! Okay, cool, cool. All right.
No, but it's fine.
Wow, Dad has practiced it. Oh. Damn. Okay, that's the range.
Oh no.
Wait.
A half day on a bus with this lady.
A free agent.
Actually, that sounds pretty good.
Yeah. What the hell?
It's like some JoJo's episode's stand user attack.
What
Oh
the
my
hell?
god. Wow.
It's Morgana.
Yeah. Weird.
Yeah, I
Unless
definitely not.
the cat sticks its tongue out and oh, right. Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Nice transition.
I cannot with the way that they keep explaining how he gets around like that. Oh my god, the way it bends. That's so funny.
And like moves between lanes like it's a video game.
Yeah. Oh,
Hey,
Ingenium! Yeah! This is exactly his kind of job. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yep. No, you do that. Go ahead. Yep.
All right. And then just gets people out.
All right, within this frozen time. Yeah. Think about it. Oh my gosh!
Yes!
Okay, okay.
Fantastic.
This'll trap it. Yeah, yeah. Well, that's gonna get the stop though. Oh,
Wait, that's actually
nice
really bad.
continuity, yeah. Oh, let's go.
All right, awesome.
Yeah, I don't get it, but
Pretty weird.
oh, fun. What a cool quirk. Oh, inject more,
Juice it up even
yeah.
more, yeah.
Whoa,
Oh, no.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Oh, shit.
Ingenium, go. Ingenium, go.
All right.
Whoa.
Makoto's still on there.
Yeah.
Oh, and he got the new one, yeah.
Yeah. We've got somebody.
Pretty fast on his feet.
You're who? She just, wait, his identity though.
Yeah. Right, you need minimum 3 so you can carry,
Yes!
carry something.
Let's go! Let's go! Sidekick Koichi!
Yeah.
Yeah! Yeah, yeah. For the paperwork, yeah. Oh! My hero!
Oh,
Yes! Hey, hey!
oh my
Ah!
God, I love it.
That's actually a problem. Reciprocal burst. Yeah!
Oh, yeah, she is in there.
Whoa! Yeah, you have no theoretical limits on your speed, actually, like Koichi.
Yeah. Oh!
Wait, Koichi?
Eh.
Wait, is he transforming into a plane?
Oh shit! Oh shit! Incredible. He's just gonna carry them to the next, yeah, to the next platform.
Yeah. Use it to
Nice,
yourself.
nice. What?
No way.
Using the air?
No way.
Holy shit.
And that made him stop using the quirk
Oh
that
my
way.
God.
True. True.
Oh.
Ow, 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 ow. Yeah, just a few bruised ribs, you know?
Yeah. Or maybe cracked.
Yeah. Well, that was a wild,
Yeah.
wild incident, though. Yes. You two are amazing, yes.
Please don't.
Oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Amazing.
Nice.
Oh my gosh. And she knows it's him now, so
Oh yeah.
this is she's gonna be here around, she's gonna be around here a lot.
Well, next she's probably gonna be like, how did you beat my polygraph test?
Well, right. Yeah.
Hey.
As far as the quirk evolution goes, like, this is the power of Asakusa.
Yes.
Yes. You wouldn't get it. It's all right. You wouldn't get it.
I love it.
It's a connection between a man and his clothes. You know.
That's right.
Okay, this was actually a densely packed episode. Didn't have the comedy of Koichi's mom is here, but also we got into some of Koichi's past, some stuff with his quirk.
Yep.
He actually found a new way to use his quirk because apparently he always could fly.
Right.
But she was so scared about her baby just flying away
that she slapped him back down to
earth. And I love the themes to explore with that because she is the helicopter mom that ends up basically
that's smothering him.
Smothers him and doesn't give him the freedom specifically to, be who he's going to be. But it's very realistic in that I understand where she would get this complex if her only child
just starts
was
randomly
floating away as a little baby. You would have you'd be terrified.
Out. Oh yeah.
So the idea that she's also then primarily doing this out of a fear response for his safety because she has seen evidence of him not only getting into fights at a young age, doing things that show that he's reckless, which we know to be the case, and also ruining, his future by the way that he missed stuff there by getting into the river. She knows about that stuff. Right. So I feel like it's a very realistic scenario that we could come to this place, and it's not just being used for a bit. It's developing both characters.
Yeah, it's making it believable while at the same time having her just, she's awful. It'll be great.
She's awful, but it's not so simple and basic. It's actually it's actually a reasonable kind of response from a parent who's dealt with this in a world with quirks for, his whole life, basically.
Right. And from the standpoint of within the show, that's the way that they had her start in the episode and the way that they had her be by the end was in a much more agreeable place from the standpoint of plot.
Yes.
Right? Because it could be very easy for a character like this to be something that just disrupts things.
Yeah.
And so then we, like Koichi, are like, no, get out of here, please. You were a fun bit, and then that's it, right? But the fact that then she's like, oh, Makoto, please, give my boy a fair chance.
A fair chance, right. Would you consider marrying into the family? And she's like, I'll keep an open mind.
Right.
She's actually advancing things in that regard.
Yeah, exactly.
Giving the ship actual wings here.
Right, a helicopter mom that actually maybe helps your interpersonal relationships somehow.
Somehow? What?
Impossible. Well, I guess we are in a world of, superheroes. Yeah. But okay, that was fun. I like the supernatural, but the event that comes in that then disrupts the fun slice of life episode. I feel like they were able to handle both of those very well. I was engaged in each side of it. The fact that we got that little bit of a hinting as for Knuckle Duster's whole situation, very fun. I love the way that because Makoto has that quirk, right, with the polygraph test thing. That is such a just fun and helpful thing to have.
Yes, from a writing perspective.
Especially in this kind of show. Right. Because there's so much miscommunication bullshit that happens. And, there's character reasons for it and all that stuff. But the idea that you just, no.
She'll get the truth.
She'll get the truth. You won't have to worry about that. Oh my God, fantastic.
It's amazing because every interaction with her carries then that extra level of excitement. So even though she got Koichi being the crawler's kind of identity stuff, just because he ended up saving her and being a cool hero at this point had nothing to do with her quirk.
Right.
I like that even more so in context that this is a genuine reason why she could end up being interested in him for the same reason that Popstep or Kazuho, now that we know everybody's real names.
Right.
Which is fun.
Yep.
Okay. That's cool.
Yep.
We can get at the more true nature of these people now.
Exactly. This was a very helpful episode for the show at large, while also just being a very fun episode. You know? So I'm all for that. And the inherent sort of contradiction or question that Makoto is going to have of but I did the polygraph test and it didn't work. And it could totally just be resolved in the very next episode of my hero name's the Crawler, not the Crawler. You know, it's
and everybody says
everybody calls me the Crawler, and I hate it. And I'm not the Crawler.
And then she's like, well, you realize the Crawler part and the fact that you keep insisting that actually is probably why they call you makes you seem so creepy. You're the Crawler? That doesn't, but the Crawler, then you're like a sweet, kind guy, and then he's like,
it makes no sense why you chose that name, but but what that is that's a potential way for then the characters to have a very legitimate reason to then talk about the crazy reveal that happened, because she's probably curious too of like, is it just that my touch isn't working, And that could also be a potential character angle for her of constantly relying on her quirk rather than, potentially trusting people or getting to know them or whatever,
And it could also be, this is a really fun, like, silly thing. They don't have to, like, go into this. But then it's okay, so you three are vigilantes. Cool.
All right.
Okay. I want to then know, like, your journey and story. So I will not interfere. I will not pass along any of your identity stuff to my brother, who is literally the police guy who could end all of you.
Yep.
Because I see the shades of gray here. But having that also in context could make for some interesting conversations between her and her brother.
Oh, absolutely.
About then, hey, Sakauchi, if I encountered some vigilantes, and on the whole, they were doing good for their environment and stuff, but some of their members had more questionable methods than others. Would that be the equivalent of, how heroes have their, like, they're bad ones that they're trying to reform over the course of time, but because they're so effective, we, kind of put up with them. Like, what is your thoughts on that? He's like, I've got paperwork to do. Can you leave me alone for a little bit?
I don't have time for all these theoretical questions.
I love the idea though that they're actually like just roommates because Tokyo rent is so expensive. And they have completely different lives and jobs.
A Tokyo apartment.
Well, right, totally. But it's the thing that his thing is that he's forever single because he's always working. He rooms with his sister and is like just very like black and white.
He doesn't have friends. He has work friends.
Right.
Yeah.
He's got his cat buddy,
That's right.
I keep forgetting like that person even has a name or what have you.
Officer
Meowkins or something. Yeah. Or whatever. But Makoto is just set up in a very fun way in the story structurally, and this episode advanced the whole side plot with her in a way that makes her now a part of the main story.
Yes,
and I think
very happy about that.
That's one of the things that I feel like Vigilantes does really well, is that while the side characters are not that deep or complex or even that interesting half the time, the way that they're slowly building upon each one in ways that are sometimes comedic, but also tied into the relationships with the three main protagonists.
Yeah, this feels like the things that we wanted to see from MHA that weren't in MHA for understandable reasons
because they moved too fast.
Because they moved too fast. It's the big flagship show. It's got such a wide audience that you can't go into the more niche stuff or whatever, right?
We have 50 characters with quirks that
exactly. Honestly, it's way too unwieldy.
40 of them don't matter for like the first 3 seasons. So
right.
That's the whole thing.
I very much like this approach to things. I like this pace for things. I like the introduction of the side characters. Great. Let's keep it going. And I like that we're not too bogged down by the whole Queen situation. Because like, as far as elements of the show so far,
it's the part of like the least,
I generally am the least attached to that. So the idea that we can have her presence facilitate all the awesome stuff that we're getting, right?
Yeah.
Rather than
it's
being
a nice
like
excuse.
now we have to deal with this thing because she's
arbitrary
the antagonist.
Stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, totally. I can definitely see the limitations in that regard, in that we have an antagonist that is just kind of doing things for her own experiment goals or what have you, but it provides a nice excuse in the story to have
a thing happen,
a really weird villain thing happen.
And cat bus, because why not? It gives Knuckle Duster something to do, because he makes a big cat toy.
I love Knuckle Duster's ingenuity here.
Oh, it's great.
There's something about the muscly guy doing the awkwardly adorable thing that's really good, idea, like a really good, successful idea.
Right. Because even though, because he doesn't have a quirk, and so it doesn't really matter how strong he is. In a lot of situations, your muscles just don't help.
It gives big Kronk talking to squirrels energy. It's this wholesome himbo. I mean, that's actually a weird thing. Would Knuckle Duster be a himbo?
No,
I don't think so.
Absolutely
not at all. No,
absolutely not. No, he is not good natured. They were
trying to almost the women were almost objectifying him into a himbo for a second there, and he just kind of sat there and was like,
"Well, with the story that he gave." Absolutely. Like we go and we pick up trash around the neighborhood and, we do things like that. Community service, basically, nonprofit. Like that's, yes, that, that's such an effective way to describe what they were doing. Because, we are a nonprofit.
I want to bring up something, though. He actually does have a quirk, and it's some kind of, sixth sense side of things.
Yeah.
This could be another example of it where he had the vibe of I should think up a cover just in case we end up getting discovered.
Well, yeah.
And so then he shows up so prepared.
The fact that he had
no
the business
reason,
cards and
the hair was coiffed and everything.
But also, Koichi contacted Makoto. Awesome. Yeah, of course. He certainly didn't call Knuckle Duster.
He did not. No.
He did not want Knuckle Duster to be here.
Because if he told Knuckle Duster, don't show up, my mom's here, Knuckle Duster is the kind of person that he'd be like, wait, he might show up because my mom's here.
Right, exactly, right? So the fact that he was there, I could totally see it being something like that.
Right, it could have been an off-screen text that we didn't see.
Right.
It's very possible.
Pop Step actually was the one who's like, oh my God, something like that.
Yeah, who knows?
I think that the Knuckle Duster has a sixth sense type quirk, has officially been supplanted in my mind with the All for One took his quirk.
Oh, yes, let's talk about that.
I love the idea of that happening.
Can we talk about the way in which they focused on him potentially being a hero, he was a hero.
Yep.
But then we went to All Might and his poster after that.
Yep.
Now, I don't think this is the kind of, when you talk about foreshadowing, foreshadowing that's specifically for the viewer is different than, natural, character decision foreshadowing. The point of view of the All Might poster could have been Knuckle Duster looking at the All Might poster and a flicking glance for a second.
Sure.
This is just his POV, right?
Yeah, he did say, I am here when he showed up and then before he jumped into the trash bags or whatever, Yeah.
Now, if that's the case, then I think this could qualify as a form of proper foreshadowing. And that's why I think the All for One took his quirk angle is why it came to mind, basically, is that he doesn't have a quirk. He did, though.
Right.
And when he did, it gave him a reason to work his physical body in a certain way so that he could use it proficiently. And he has all the muscle memory and all that of being a person that fought villains. And now,
there's a level
because he doesn't have a quirk, he's not able to actually do his hero work, but he wants to still go and fight.
Put another way,
evildoers,
if he was military, then a lot of the stuff that he does wouldn't actually make sense. Because if he's military, he would know how to fight other people. He wouldn't have as much training with how to fight people with quirks.
Why is that?
Now,
why is that? You think people in the military are not allowed to have quirks?
Well, no. I mean, I guess they would have quirks, but
I think if anything, we get into the darker topip of where
the quirk soldiers and all that.
Quirk soldiers would absolutely be a thing.
Sure. Or the
obviously,
why would police still be using regular recognizable to us police stuff rather than just we've categorized your quirks and everything and you're basically just superheroes but not as famous, right?
Oh, okay.
Like that kind of thing.
Sure.
Why do they bother to send the the tanks and the choppers against the super mech, because super mechs exist, you'd know that they'd lose, right? You know, that kind of thing.
I get what you're saying, yeah. And this could go too deep down the rabbit hole, but okay.
But the idea is
that.
But running with that is that he has a lot of experience specifically of how to deal with quirks, right? And as a punchy person.
Yes.
That is something that he theoretically could have gotten in the military, but it would also make a ton of sense if it's I have experience dealing with people with quirks because I was a hero, right?
Right. He's old enough where he could have had 10, 15 years of hero career that was long gone and everything.
Yep.
And because heroes sometimes have their actual identity, pretty
darn secret.
No one would necessarily notice, recognize, or remember him or anything. So, yeah, it's a cool setup where the character is an enigma because it doesn't focus on any of these things.
Right.
He's just Knuckle Duster. He's a bit of a brute that for whatever reason, he just doesn't trust people. He's just like, nah, you are a problem. I'm going to go beat your ass. It's like, wait, bro. He's just a corporate guy that's kind of weird and has a, he's literally going and taking that, there he goes. It's like, wow,
he was
shit,
right.
You were right. Damn.
Yeah.
But his main thing that we know has a very big probable character, like, reason for who he is and who he was, is that this is something that he was doing long before Koichi wanted to do anything remotely similar to this.
Sure.
This is who he is, deep down to his core.
And I'm going to throw this out there. If he had his quirk taken by All for One, yes, it's possible it was done in just, any number of situations.
Totally.
Right? Given that All Might defeating All for One in the whole thing where All Might now got injured, and, this is like not that long after that, could totally be the thing of, he was one of the people that All for One basically stole a quirk from when he was in a more position of power. He wasn't in hiding like he is now. Right.
So,
but is it possible that he was actually a part of the team that was sent to deal with All for One?
Yeah.
And that's when it happened.
Oh, totally. No, that absolutely could be a thing, because the excuse that All Might gave originally was that it was like, oh yeah, it was this one guy and that's why I got this injury here.
Right.
And then he ends up revealing later that it was actually All for One, and that was in the fight that this happened, and he beat All for One. That was a very clear, like, thrashing, but All for One did get away.
Yeah.
Like, All for One was beaten and got away.
Right.
But that was a while ago enough that All for One's reign of terror basically is not brought up much anymore.
Yeah.
Now, I don't believe for sure we know the exact time when this happened, but depending on how public the fight was, because this would be two gods fighting each other, like, it probably wasn't.
It was not public. It was because the whole thing.
Oh no, we know it wasn't.
Oh, okay.
We know it wasn't public.
Okay.
I'm talking about the effects of it, my dude. I'm talking about the
two
gods clash in Japan.
Right.
It doesn't matter whether or not you publicize it. It's about.
Oh my God! There was an earthquake.
Oh my God! There was a
Yeah.
city that was half leveled because it probably wasn't All Might orbitally dropped on All for One's head and going thunk, and the fight's over.
No, it's probably the
We have
Aizawa in a very solid steel box with a little eye hole, and then drop him somewhere, and then everybody else just tries to wail on him.
Right, and All for One probably had cronies. All for One probably had a whole bunch of other contingency plans and things.
It probably would have been, since All for One was doing it as like a underworld mob type situation.
Yeah.
It was probably something of, there was a big, hit on, like, we basically took down this gigantic crime ring or whatever, and that's basically what it would probably be chalked up to.
Yeah. And so another fun theory that I want to throw out there, and this is one that it kind of follows in conjunction with the All for One stole his quirk, but what if he was a villain and it's actually not that he had his quirk stolen because he was a hero fighting against All for One,
But All
he
for
was
One like
someone
screwed him
that-
over.
All for One basically screwed him over.
Sure.
And it's you did your part. Now, thank you for your quirk. That was really helpful. And then ever since then, he's basically been like, oh, yeah, one day I'd love to get basically back at evil people like that who are actually running things.
Yeah.
And he knows how evil the dark underbelly is because he's actually seen it in a personal way.
That was kind of, I didn't think that specifically, but if they don't go for the angle that I think is maybe more likely that they'll go for because of the sort of marketability of, oh, he was also there, fighting All for One and all that stuff.
Oh, totally.
But yeah, the idea that the reason that he's a vigilante is because he was at least connected to that side of things, whether he was someone who was, forcibly brought in, as like some human trafficking thing of, we found someone with a good quirk that you'd want, boss, right? And then it gets taken or whatever, right? Like something like that makes him more familiar with the, down and dirty in the mud kind of stuff that then you do with vigilantes.
Yeah, he could absolutely have been a victim entirely in that regard, and that's another fun way to explore. But the theory angle of this making me think of, oh, All for One is in this story. Like, there's a reason why the person talking to Queen is All for One. And it's not just hey, All for One has a presence in the doings of this going on to set up some stuff about where we end up getting the drug that ends up getting used in MHA. But particularly to set up the viewer to be thinking about All for One and his influence being pervasive throughout this world and story.
Right. If you already have him in the show in that indirect way, why not double dip, right? Like, because theoretically, even within the context of the show, Queen doesn't seem that important, right? She's stuck around longer than we would have expected because she has a very tricky quirk, right? But the show is going to survive long past when Queen gets defeated. And so if there's some element of them knowing about All for One, I think that makes total sense.
Yeah. So fun theory. I'd love to see how they explore just Knuckle Duster in general, given that we're actually now starting to have characters outside of the trio poking at that question.
Yeah.
I feel like the answers are on their way. They're coming, and they're coming soon. So, y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You got an early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us in the community there about this show, about anime in general. Also, be sure to check out our Twitch channel. See if any of that interests you. We'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.